Archangel Michael warns you now with urgency and divine clarity. The dream you keep forgetting is not just a random creation of your subconscious, not just leftover echoes from a long day. It is a message from the heavenly realm, a spiritual alarm disguised in symbols you've yet to interpret, a sacred code that your spirit remembered, but your waking mind has been made to forget. This is not an ordinary dream. It is the same one, returning in glimpses, sometimes distorted, sometimes shadowed, but always trying to pierce through the noise of your waking life to reach the deeper parts of your soul. You wake up feeling unsettled, like something followed you out of sleep but slipped through your fingers before you could name it. That heaviness in your chest, that inexplicable dread or curiosity when you rise. It's not your imagination. It is your spirit trying to remind you of what was shown to you in the night. You see, heaven often speaks in dreams because dreams bypass logic and ego and go straight into the spirit. But the enemy, knowing this, will do everything possible to cloud your memory, distort the message, and pull you back into distractions before you can recall the warning you received. Michael is telling you now, do not dismiss the repetition. That face you keep seeing without recognizing. That strange location that appears familiar but unknown. That voice that almost speaks but never finishes a sentence. These are fragments of a much greater revelation trying to get through. The warning isn't just about something around you. It's about something coming. A spiritual trap is being laid by someone who is pretending to walk beside you in peace, but in truth, they are envious of your light and have begun entertaining forces that oppose your elevation. They may smile at your victories, but in the hidden corners of their heart, they pray for your fall, and they have begun to make agreements in the spiritual realm that you do not yet see. Your dream is trying to unveil their face. Every time you remember only part of it, it is your higher self struggling against spiritual interference. The reason you keep forgetting the dream is because there is a force working overtime to keep you blind to what heaven is trying to show you. Archangel Michael is stepping in now, sword drawn, wings spread wide, to help clear the fog. But you must become more spiritually alert. Start paying attention to the details. What emotions did you wake up with? What colors did you see? What words or objects stood out before the memory dissolved? You're not being paranoid. You're being awakened. This is your divine nudge to take authority over your dream space. Pray before sleep. Invite Archangel Michael to guard your visions. Ask the Holy Spirit to bring clarity and remembrance, and rebuke anything that is stealing your spiritual messages. Because this dream contains the map out of a danger you haven't even recognized yet. Someone close to you has been carrying the energy of betrayal. Someone who asks about your dreams casually. Someone who laughs with you but carries secrets. Someone who may even appear to support your calling but internally despises it. The dream shows them to you, but it has been hijacked before you can retain it. Now is not the time to dismiss your intuition. You've been feeling nudges, sensing shifts in people, but telling yourself you're imagining it. Michael says no, you're not imagining it. Your soul knows more than your mind can explain. This is spiritual war in disguise. This is why you felt drained around certain individuals. Why you begun waking up with anxiety for no clear reason. Why your dreams have started to blur just as they were getting clearer. It's not just mental, it's spiritual interference. And if you keep ignoring the warning, The consequences will not be immediate, but they will be painful. The enemy knows it cannot stop your destiny, but it can delay you by surrounding you with the wrong energies, by twisting your perception, and by making you doubt what God is revealing in your sleep. Michael says you are not meant to live in confusion. You are not meant to stay in environments that drain your discernment. You are a spiritual being walking through a physical world, and you need to begin treating your dream life with the same seriousness you treat your waking life. You've been asking God for answers, for signs, for direction, and He has been sending it night after night. But each morning, the message gets buried. Now is your moment to reclaim it. Begin keeping a journal beside your bed. Write down anything you remember, even if it makes no sense. Your spirit will start to piece together what your memory cannot. You will begin to recognize the signs. You will remember the voice. You will see the danger for what it truly is. And in time, you will thank heaven for sending this warning through the veil of sleep. Because what you remember next might just save your destiny from disaster. Archangel Michael speaks again, more urgently now, because the window is narrowing and the dream you keep forgetting isn't just a message, it's a countdown. Each time you wake and cannot remember, it's not only your memory that's being tampered with, it's your spiritual radar that's being jammed. Heaven does not send a warning repeatedly unless the matter is critical. And now the message is no longer merely about who is around you. It's about the direction you're walking in, the alignment of your path, and the unseen choices being made on your behalf that you are being called to intercept. You have been sensing resistance, spiritual fatigue, moments where your clarity feels stolen and your confidence fades without reason. That is not weakness, it is interference. The forgotten dream has been trying to alert you that you are walking beside a shadow masked in light, that you've invited into your confidence a soul whose hands carry residue of manipulation, jealousy, or bitterness, and their access to your life is costing you more than you know. You think of them as harmless, but their energy is rooted in something darker, and that darkness is now brushing against your peace. Archangel Michael has drawn his sword in the spirit, not because you are in danger of defeat, but because you are in danger of delay. The enemy is using time itself as a weapon, trying to keep you tangled in loops of confusion and hesitation, praying you ignore these signals until it's too late. But the heavens will not allow that. Not for you, not in this hour. You are called, chosen, and positioned to break through this veil, to walk in wisdom, not just blessings. And so, Michael is asking you to become a student of your own soul. Start documenting even the smallest fragments, those flashes of faces, the one word that echoes in your spirit, the place you keep dreaming of but can't locate in real life. These aren't random. They are coordinates, warnings, instructions. You may not know why you're seeing a particular house, or why a child's voice repeats your name in the dream, or why you keep waking at the same hour in the dead of night, but heaven knows. That house may be tied to a past wound you haven't resolved. That child's voice might be the younger you, calling you back to the place where you abandoned your gift. That hour may be the moment the attack is launched nightly in the spirit realm. Michael says it's time to stop brushing this off. Your dream life is part of your armor. If the enemy cannot defeat you in the physical, he will wage war while you sleep, hoping you remain unaware. But you're not just flesh, you are spirit. And that spirit is awakening, becoming bolder, becoming sharper. You notice you wake up more exhausted even after a full night's rest. That's because your spirit is fighting while your body sleeps. That weariness isn't from your schedule, it's from spiritual warfare. But heaven is sending reinforcements. Archangel Michael and his army have been dispatched on your behalf, but you must authorize their full power through faith, prayer, and awareness. Begin to declare each night that your sleep is protected. Ask for angelic visitation. Ask to remember, to decode, to understand. Because the dream you keep forgetting holds the key to breaking a cycle you've been trapped in, a cycle that's been draining your energy, slowing your blessings, and keeping you anchored to people or patterns that no longer align with your calling. Some of your delays have not been due to lack of effort, but lack of awareness. You have unknowingly allowed emotional saboteurs into your sacred space. But your spirit knows. That's why you've started dreaming of falling, of losing things, of running without reaching the destination. These symbols are not punishment. They are heaven's way of waking you up. That person who keeps appearing in the dreams, they are not random. They carry energy you haven't discerned in the natural. The place you keep revisiting is where your power was last challenged. The voice that almost speaks but is drowned out each time is a heavenly messenger who is being silenced by the fog of your waking distractions. And Michael wants you to know, if you don't start anchoring your nights in prayer, you'll keep missing the message until the danger becomes a crisis. But if you act now, if you begin praying with intention before bed, if you begin asking for the veil to be lifted and for protection in the dream realm, then what was once blurry will become crystal clear. The warning will turn into wisdom. The trap will be revealed before it can be set, and you will walk into a new level of discernment that cannot be manipulated. Your dream life is your early alert system, and heaven is handing you the controls. Take them. Protect them. Use them. The messages will become louder. Your spirit will grow stronger. And what was once a mystery will become your greatest shield. Archangel Michael says the dream you keep forgetting is a gift wrapped in urgency. It is your divine surveillance, your spiritual intelligence system, and your encoded escape route. The dream is not over. But now, you will remember. Now you will see. Archangel Michael continues, his presence now closer than ever, urging you to understand that the dreams you keep waking from without clarity were not meant to be forgotten. They were meant to shake you awake in the deepest parts of your soul. These aren't just nighttime hallucinations or random images flickering in your subconscious. They're transmissions from the divine realm, coded messages filtered through the only part of you the world cannot pollute, your spirit. The reason you forget them is because you haven't been trained to value what you see when your eyes are closed, only what you touch when you're awake. But God is shifting that now, pulling you deeper into your calling, deeper into your discernment, and deeper into the invisible realm where real power lies. Every single symbol in those forgotten dreams holds weight. That door you couldn't open? It's not a reflection of your failure. It's a prophetic image of a place you're trying to enter prematurely. That figure who chased you down a dark hallway? It's not a nightmare. It's a spiritual leech, an emotional parasite still clinging to your destiny in disguise. That voice that called your name but never showed its face? That was an angel trying to warn you about something you've been ignoring in the physical realm. Michael reveals now that the people who are secretly draining your energy have been showing up in your dreams. Sometimes as relatives, sometimes as friends, sometimes as shadows with no face at all. And you keep brushing it off as bad sleep. But those faces carry spiritual fingerprints. And now, the time has come to pay attention because those fingerprints are on areas of your life that keep breaking. The repeating dreams are not mistakes. They are divine repetition, heaven's way of saying, "You didn't understand the first time, so I'm showing you again." The spiritual battle you're in doesn't want you to recognize this truth, because the more forgetful you become about your dreams, the more vulnerable you become to manipulation while you sleep. You think it's just insomnia, but it's warfare. You think you're waking up randomly at 3 a.m., but in the spiritual world, that hour is a shift change, where dark forces attempt to inject fear or confusion into your mind. But the angels are present too, and Archangel Michael says, "You are not alone in this." Heaven is ready to reveal what has been hidden, but only to those who ask. You must pray this night, not just to dream, but to remember, not just to sleep, but to receive. You must speak out loud before rest. Reveal what I need to see. Cover me as I sleep. Let no message be stolen. Let no lie be planted. Let every symbol carry heaven's truth. This simple prayer will begin to change the frequency of your dreams. You will start to awaken with fragments that make sense. A location, a number, a warning, a promise. And if you write them down, if you treat your dreams like prophecy instead of noise, you will notice that heaven has been speaking this entire time. Some of your greatest answers have already come to you, but you didn't recognize them because they didn't arrive in a way your mind was trained to respect. But dreams bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. That's why they feel deeper. That's why they stay even when forgotten. That's why they echo long after waking. Michael says, even now, a new dream is forming. And in it, you will encounter a specific image, a broken bridge. Don't dismiss it. It's a symbol that something or someone in your life is no longer meant to carry you forward. You will also hear a knocking in the dream. Count the knocks. That number will repeat in your waking life. It is connected to a date or a decision that will change everything. You may even find yourself flying or floating. Don't be afraid. That is not fear, it is freedom. It means your spirit is rising above what your flesh cannot solve. But not everyone around you will celebrate your spiritual awakening. Some will notice the shift before you do. They'll feel it in your silence, your boundaries, your withdrawal from toxic conversations. And they will be offended, not because you're doing wrong, but because your growth exposes their stagnation. That's why you've started to dream of confrontations, of arguments, of people turning their backs on you. It's already happening in the spiritual realm. Michael urges you, do not chase them. Do not shrink for them. You are being elevated, and your dreams are the first step in heaven's ladder. Every time you dream, you're stepping into a place where time folds and God speaks outside of language. It's holy ground, and you must protect it. That means no more sleeping under emotional exhaustion. No more falling asleep with unresolved pain in your chest. Cleanse your space. Speak protection. Call on Archangel Michael by name. Ask him to station his angels at every corner of your room. And most importantly, ask him to cut every spiritual cord attached to anyone who wishes you confusion, fear, or fatigue. You will wake up differently. You will begin to dream differently. and you will finally remember what heaven has been trying to say all along. Because the dreams you forget are not gone. They are waiting for you to come back for them. And now, as you begin to recall more and more of the pieces heaven has sent you, Archangel Michael stands at the gates of your awareness, reminding you that nothing in your life has been coincidental. Not even the smallest fragments of those dreams that used to evaporate the moment your eyes opened. He speaks now, not just with words, but with weight, with the kind of divine urgency that shakes even the quietest corners of the spirit. Those dreams were never just dreams. They were alerts. They were messages coded in symbols because your spirit was too exhausted to receive the truth any other way. And now that you are listening, truly listening, you are ready for what must be revealed. There is someone in your life who has been cloaked in familiarity, but is cloaking something darker beneath their words. A presence whose energy has repeatedly surfaced in your dreams, often behind a mask, often behind soft gestures, but always bringing chaos, confusion, or emotional fog with them. You kept dismissing it, because how could someone you've known so long be the spiritual detour holding you back from elevation? But dreams do not flatter your comfort. They expose what your conscious mind refuses to confront. And Michael says this: your spiritual instincts are not wrong. You were chosen to see it before it became too late. The recurring presence, the repeated voice, the strange feeling in those forgotten dreams was your warning system being activated by divine authority. But the warning is not just about others. Some of the dreams are about you, about your own delay, about the forgiveness you keep avoiding, about the decision you've put off for too long, about the habit you swore you'd break but still hide. The weight you feel in those dreams is not just external. It's the cry of your destiny demanding to be heard above the noise. That hallway you keep walking down in your sleep but never reaching the door? That's your purpose waiting for you to finally take action. That house you dream of with missing rooms or broken windows. That's your spiritual structure showing you where the walls have cracks, places where you need to rebuild. Heaven has been generous with you. Even when you were too numb to understand, your spirit was still receiving guidance. And now the veil has lifted. You're not just remembering your dreams, you're stepping into them. But this is where the war intensifies, because the enemy thrives in distraction. And now that your eyes are opening, darkness will try to send illusions, false dreams, false peace, emotional counterfeits designed to mimic divine signs. But you will know the difference. God's messages bring conviction, not confusion, clarity, not fear, direction, not dread. And if a dream leaves you bound, shaken, or empty, test its spirit. Michael is releasing a special anointing over your dream life tonight, one that cannot be stolen. You will begin to see patterns in your sleep that directly correspond to what's being delayed in your waking life. You will start to see numbers, animals, rooms, people, even songs that carry spiritual weight. And heaven will show you who to trust with those dreams. Because not everyone deserves access to what God is whispering to you at night. Do not hand your prophecy to someone who lacks discernment. Guard it, nurture it, pray over it. Write it down before the world convinces you it was nothing. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this. Your dreams are not entertainment. They are heavenly strategies wrapped in mystery. And if you begin to steward them, your entire path will shift. The confusion you've been walking in will begin to break. That relationship you weren't sure about will be confirmed or removed. That opportunity you were scared to take will show up in a dream. Twice, because God confirms through patterns. And the ache in your spirit that you couldn't name, it will finally speak through your sleep. You were never just tired. You were under spiritual pressure. You were being positioned. And now, heaven says, the dreams you remember will become the blueprint for your next move. Pay attention to what changes when you start listening. Pay attention to what shakes when you start writing. Pay attention to the moments your spirit jumps, even when your mind doubts. That is how you'll know it's divine. This season of your life will not be led by logic. It will be led by revelation. And revelation always starts in silence, always starts in rest, always starts in dreams. And if you stay faithful to the signs, the repeating visions, the unanswered feelings that return night after night, you will begin to witness an unraveling of secrets you were never meant to carry. You will begin to release the people and patterns that tied you to spiritual dead ends. You will rise. You will move in sync with heaven, and your life will become the proof that even in forgotten moments of sleep, God was speaking. Archangel Michael says, "It is not too late. You're not too far. And this awakening you feel now is not your imagination. It is your calling. Write it down. Remember what you see tonight, because the dream you finally remember may be the one that saves everything."